I'm Susan. Welcome to Tea and Games. Some months back, actually I got ahead of myself there. Tea today is Builders. I'm on about my third cup, so it's not as warm as one would like, even though I reheated it. Some months ago, I started a series called Coffeetable Games, and somebody in comments nudged me that I needed to do more of those because a lot of games take up a lot of the dining room table for people who do not have gaming tables, which we do not. And it's always kind of nice to know how much space something is going to take up before you start trying to lay it out. And some people have very small spaces. Even the dining room table is small. So I got to thinking about the coffee table and if there were games that could be fit and played on the coffee table. And there are, and I did a video about that and I will link it in the description below. But this is more coffee table games. Our coffee table is 26 by 36 inches. Those of you watching in Europe are gonna have to do a little bit of conversion there. But because I'm giving you the measurements, that means when I show you what this looks like on the coffee table, then you're gonna be able to look at that space and say, okay, this game will fit in half of that space or all of that space, and it will give you just some idea. Your coffee table may be bigger than mine. Your coffee table may be smaller, but you'll have a point of reference. So 26 inches by 36 inches. Okay, the first couple of games I want to mention, and I'm going to be putting pictures of the games up here so you will not be seeing me for the whole video. The first couple of games are games we have actually played on the coffee table. The first one here is Donuts. Donuts is an abstract strategy game. It is a two-player game. We played it sitting side by side on the couch with a board on the coffee table in front of us. And the setup of the game is just to have some tokens off to either side of the board, and when you're playing the game, it does not substantially change the amount of space that it takes up on the table. This is a nifty little game. It is designed by Bruno Cathala, and it's a lot of fun, but it is abstract. I mean, it's a nice little puzzle. If you enjoy abstract strategy games, head-to-head two-player thingies, you might like this, and it will fit on a coffee table. I feel fairly certain that even if your coffee table is extremely small, you could play this game on the coffee table. But it is a two-player only game, and we will be talking about some games that play more than two, but we are starting off with two-player. The other one I wanted to mention is Tanis. Tanis is designed by Phil Walker Harding, and it is a nifty game. I've talked about both Donuts and Tanis before. It will fit on the coffee table. The first picture is set up, showing some of the cards spread out. Gameplay, once you get started playing this game, it's going to take up a bit more space on the table because it is set collection. You are excavating tiles and then collecting sets or runs of sequential tiles. And you also then have cards that are discarded and tiles that are sometimes discarded, which would be in the center of the table, but still two-player game, and it fits on the coffee table. And this is a lot of fun too. There's a variation off of it boxed with God tiles that we still haven't played yet. But now that I've got this, it went back onto the shelf. And so I think I'm gonna just leave this on the coffee table and we may get another play-in sometime soon. Cleared a bunch of junk off the coffee table so that I could lay some things out and try some things. The next game I wanted to talk to you about is a not obvious coffee table game because it is a bigger box than the other games. This is, did I put this right side up? Yes, Abducktion. Did I put Tanis right side up? I don't remember. This is Abducktion. This is a silly little game. It is very, very lightweight, but it plays up to 4. And the well, it can be kind of tricky to get what you need to win the game, but the gameplay is kind of fun and it's an easy teach. So you could play this with anyone. Let me put the thing here. This is what it looks like. This is why the box is so big, because you have an actual UFO in the box. Oh, and it is filled with ducklings. So let me put this up on the screen so that you can see it. The face down cards are the cards that are in hand. And this is kind of what the game might look like with 4 players around the coffee table and with the game sort of in mid-play. The cards that you see that are below the player boards, those are goals that each player has achieved. I put like 1 card under there so that you'd be able to see that, you know, how much the maximum amount of space would be taken up. Of course, ideally, you're going to have more than 1 goal there. More than 1 goal card, but you can line them up underneath there. There's a maximum of 12 goals, and the deck for goals changes from game to game because you have a deck of goals and then you shuffle it and you only pull out 12 for the game. And the game is over when all the goals have been achieved or when you're down to 1 goal. I don't remember. It's been a while since we played it. But yeah, it's a maximum of 12 goals, which means that for a 4-player game, it's probably going to be distributed. Nobody is going to have like you know, 24 cards under their player board or something like that. The goal cards have some amusing flavor text on them, which you're all supposed to be interns at the whole goal abducting company that the aliens are running. Duck abducting company that the aliens are running. And you are interns with this alien company abducting ducks. Here's a sample of 3 cards in hand. Your hand size is going to be 3. So you're not going to be juggling a whole wad of cards in your hand and trying not to drop them on the coffee table or anything. And here's a nifty picture of the spaceship and another picture of the ducklings inside the spaceship. So that is Abducktion. I will put how to play videos for Donuts and Tennis and Abducktion in the description below because none of these games are games that people talk about a whole lot, so you may not be very familiar with them unless you already have them. But if you're looking for small games that 2 to 4 people can play on the coffee table, those are some good choices. Now, I thought I would look at flip and write games because you immediately think, well, everybody's just got a sheet of paper in front of them or a dry erase board or something, and you got a stack of cards and you turn them over, so that should fit, right? Welcome to, I use the collector's edition for this test layout. This is what the collector's edition looks like. The box size for the regular thing is roughly this size. And it will have a pad of paper in it rather than dry erase boards, so you can get dry erase boards for the regular edition. And this also has expansions, and you can get expansions and dry erase boards for the expansions too. But the layout on that was surprisingly tight on the player board. Besides the dry erase boards, the collector's edition also has new player aids. They're the same size as the old player aids, but the orientation of the writing is different. It's really a tight fit for 4 on a coffee table that is 26 inches by 36 inches. And this is a game that can play up to 100 with that initial pad of paper that you get in the original game. So, um, yeah, it's something that you really, to play it in a living room situation, what you really probably need is like a whole bunch of lap tables for people to write on and have their board, and then just put the cards on the coffee table maybe, because this is a little scrunchy, but it can be done at 4 if you really want to on a coffee table the size of ours. And the final flip and write game that I tried out on the coffee table is Cartographer's Heroes. I chose Heroes because it has like a few extra cards, so that really doesn't make any difference in terms of how much space it takes up on the table. I laid it out for 4 players, and this was even tighter than Welcome To. In fact, instead of laying it like to where everything was laid out oriented toward the people that are sitting on the couch, I turned everything sideways because that seemed like it would fit on the table better. But it's a little awkward at 4. But at 3 player, if you eliminate that player on the opposite side from the couch, then have 2 people on the end, and well, I suppose you could put 2 people on the couch, but they're really going to be elbow to elbow there in terms of drawing and writing and stuff. But yeah, I think it would be a little bit more comfortable for 3 player. I was really very surprised that the flip and write games didn't fit more neatly into that space. I was in my head, I was really thinking that this would fit perfectly, it would be fine, but they can be done, but it's a little bit more scrunchy if you have more than a couple of players. Pure roll and write games might be a better choice for a coffee table situation. Something, in other words, these are flip and write. Heroes and Welcome To are both considered flip and write games because the marks that you make on your board or your piece of paper are determined by cards. So there is a certain amount of card layout that takes up some of the territory on the table. But a pure roll and write would be perfect for a coffee table, like Yahtzee. For Yahtzee, all you need is, everybody needs a sheet of paper that has a Yahtzee score thing printed on it, a Yahtzee scoring sheet, and you need a little bit of space in the middle to roll your dice, or put a dice tray right there in the middle, and everybody gets a pencil. So yeah, Yahtzee would totally work on a coffee table. Another roll and write game that I think would fit on a coffee table, but I haven't tried it, is Voyages by Postmark Games, because there's no cards in that. You print off the sheet and you roll and you mark on the sheet based upon what you roll. So those are pure, it's kind of a roll and move because the sheets are maps. But yeah, some of the dice are used for movement and some are used for other things on the sheets. So if you want a little bit more wiggle room on the coffee table, a little bit more space, a game that is a pure roll and write where you're talking about a sheet to mark on and dice works better on the coffee table, I think, actually, than some of the flip and write games. But the flip and write games can be squeezed onto the coffee table if the player count is small enough. But I just wanted to do a quick little video to add another thing to the growing list of coffee table games. I do have a playlist for that, which has one other video. But yes, I will put some reference videos down below in the description. And I think I may upload this on the weekend. Instead of my usual Monday thing, get a little bit ahead of the curve here and get another one out this week, more or less. But it's been fun sitting around the table, the dining room table, talking to you about games you can play on the coffee table. And I hope that this has given you some ideas about game spaces to play, because playing on a dining room table, if you don't have a game table or a table topper for a game table that can be used for dining room, coffee tables are options for smaller games. It gives you a little bit more space in case you actually need to use your dining room for something like, say, food. So yes, this will give you some options for coffee tables. And my coffee table is 26 by 36 inches. So yeah, you can do some conversions and measure your coffee table and maybe be able to squeeze in a few small games in the living room. And I will see y'all next time round the table. Bye.